So much like the Mag 7, we will have a group of layer ones that will be the foundational layer for this new internet. Bitcoin is not that because it's not a smart contract platform. So it's its own asset that you alluded to before, which plays a very specific and important role. So then you've got the smart contract platforms, and they're driven by Lindy effects, which is how long have they been around and did they fail? Ethereum is the oldest. Now, Ethereum stores more value than anybody else. It has more active users than anybody else because so much is built on Ethereum. Even with the layer twos, abstracting away some of that, the Ethereum ecosystem is gigantic. Also, because it's been around so long and there's so many validators of the network, it is the most secure. And therefore, things with the highest value will tend to gravitate towards Ethereum. That's why NFTs have mainly remained on Ethereum. Why? Because NFTs have been the most valuable single pieces of block space ever created, and they will continue to be so. Like the single piece, most expensive piece of canvas, cotton ever created will be the Salvador Mundi painting by Leonardo da Vinci, right? So, or the most expensive real estate, whether it's Central Park in Manhattan or whatever it is, right? So that's Ethereum's role. Ethereum's role is probably a large part of the financial system because they need security. They need something that is less risky. It's been adopted for a while, been tested, has a large number of developers. But then Solana comes in, it's faster and cheaper. Well, that has a whole bunch of use cases. And what we've seen is the rise of speculation. But what that is the battle testing of simple stuff like, could equities go on chain? Should it be on Ethereum or Solana? Well, you could build a layer 2, but Solana is probably a more efficient way of doing it. So Solana, I think, for the transactional layer, as opposed to the storage layer, becomes pretty interesting. And that's probably where its strengths lie, the transaction layer. Then we've got the only other kind of really groundbreaking new technology at layer 1, which was Sui, based on the Move protocol that came out of Meta. Sui goes one stage further. It's faster, cheaper than Solana is, but it has a different elements of how it uses smart contracts, things called objects, that gives the chain the ability to do a lot more. And for me, where Sui fits within all of this is, yes, you can do transactions. Great. But really what it is the scale of the internet. Things like if you decentralize a social media at scale like Twitter, X, the only blockchain that can handle that throughput is Sui. And it works perfectly because each post would be a object within the chain, everything else. So things like digital ID, things like gaming, things like social media, things like coordination of agents, feels like that's probably a Sui strength. So we will use different blockchains for different strengths, and over time it'll become interoperable. It's a word we use in crypto a lot. People don't really understand it, but simply speaking, you are in the US, I'm in the Cayman Islands. I have no idea what camera you're using, what microphone you're using, what operating system on your computer, what make of computer you're using, what internet connection you've got, nothing. I don't know anything, because all of that technology is abstracted away. I click on Riverside Studio and you're there. That will happen in blockchain.